two damn phones. Babylons can't crack the code.
Welcome to B-MoneyTrading. So I'm just gonna do this video basically just to give you a quick rundown. It's been a while since I've made one. Just going through a lot, looking at moving, and after the holidays that happened, just life shows up. So I've been trading, but I haven't had any free time to commit to doing this channel, and I've been trying to grow as a trader in the process. And so lately what I've been doing is I've been trading options. And I've been studying a guy by the name of Sanglucci and his trading style. I think he does do swing trades on options. He also trades them, day trades them like stocks. Now with that though, you would need quite a bit of collateral or capital, should I say, because trading them like a stock, these make big moves. And so you can make a lot or lose a lot, and that kind of goes with swing trading as well, but it's just a little bit easier to manage your risk. So with that said, my latest trades, I'll go ahead and just pull it up for you. My latest trades, I did one on Chevron on Thursday, and I basically just bought it right before close. Go ahead and pull it up. So you can see I bought it right before close on the 16th, which was last Thursday, and then right at open May 17th, last Friday, I sold it for, well, when the market opened I was up like I think close to 30 bucks, but with Robinhood, and that's why I've said before it's not a good platform to if you're trying to do like momentum day trading, scalping technique strategy, then it's not so good, because like by the time I put in my order and everything, once I saw it was going to go against me, it went against me to the point that instead of me being able to take like $25 profit off of it, I ended up taking a $19 profit, which is not a whole lot, but on a small account it does add up. And I can go over the chart, show you what I was looking at real quick on that trade and why I took it. Let me just see if I already have it in my queue. I've been kind of having a different technique as far as I guess routine, you could say. Basically, whenever I took that trade, this was Friday, Thursday, and so I could see that is having trouble breaking above this, and so it made a new low, and this is on the daily chart, and that's what I'm looking at, and even I've been using the weekly as well, and you can pull up on the weekly and you can see that it's just having trouble. It's having a lot of trouble getting above this now, even though oil is up. And I check on social media and stuff, and stock twits, Facebook chain groups and stuff, and people that were trading Chevron, that had shares or whatever, they were saying, I don't understand, why didn't it go up? Oil's up, why didn't Chevron go up? Why is Chevron down and Exxon down? And so for me, that I'd once heard traders say you got to trade the chart, and the chart was showing that it was still bearish, that there still wasn't the volume to break above this resistance. And so that's why I really I ended up jumping in this trade, and it was just overnight. I wasn't planning, that's all I was planning on, overnight, a small risk, and make a little bit of money. And so you can see that that's what happened. It opened up Friday, and I hopped right out, and once it started going against me, and made quick $19 just to buy it and hold it overnight and sell it in the morning. And then the other one, the big trade I did last week, was on FedEx. And basically how I came across FedEx, it's kind of random to just there hasn't been a whole lot of news out on FedEx, but basically the reason why I came with this is what I've been doing is going on I'll go ahead and pull this and we'll go back to it. Hopefully this is recording good. My computer, I have a lot running off of it, so sometimes the audio or the video freezes, even the audio you can still hear it. So what I've been doing is going to Thinkorswim, going to the scans, and so I'll load scan, and I'll just go to the public, and I'll look for market maker move stocks, and then run the scan. It pulls it up, and so I've already done it on this one. So what I'll do is it pulls up the scan. I go over here, and I'll save it on a watch list, and I'll just number it like 1, 2, 3, whatever. I'll save it, and then I'll go ahead and load that watch list over here, and then I sync it to my chart. So I'll have you know, a daily chart, and then my other monitor a weekly chart, and I'll have them all synced, you know, using the red. And so you can see that this one's synced, and so all I have to do is just click down that down this chart, and it automatically change the charts on my monitor to that stock. So it's anyhow, so on this one, I bought in, it was, I believe this was on it was Monday, and so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, yeah. So I bought in Monday, and I'll show you the orders on it on Robinhood real quick. I bought in, got an okay price, and then on Tuesday I bought another contract with like a week less of expiration at a I believe it was a higher strike price, and then and so then I held. And I tell you what, me getting used to swing trading, like me just holding for these 4 days, it seemed like forever. It just, I haven't, you know, ever really you know, did swing trading other than, if you call holding overnight, maybe 2 days, but I've never done like a buy on Monday and wait all the way till Thursday to sell. And so for me it was a little tough, because you know on Wednesday you know, it was against me a good bit, to the point I actually had one of the contracts pulled up and was getting ready to sell, and then I saw on a smaller time frame that it was reversing and coming back, and so I said, well, I'll give it some time. And so as you can see, it closed back up, and I was like, okay. And I was even still contemplating on selling, and I had to ask myself, did it break this support? Because that was the whole thing on the trade, is that once it broke this support, that I'd get out. Now the problem was is it already broke it, but this was at the open that it was already down this much, and so you know, once it opened, it started going up in my favor. So I just held, you know, and luckily I stuck to my trading plan, and we can see it played out as it started hitting these highs. I sold somewhere around these points, my 2 contracts. And so if we pull them up really quick, FedEx, scroll down here, and I'll show you my orders real quick, and then we're gonna move on. So you can see on the 13th, I bought the 172.5 call for $620, and then on Tuesday the 14th, I bought the 175.67 call for $385, and you can see down the 16th I sold them both, which was Thursday. On that one, I made 130, and then on this one it was 180. So I ended up making $310 off of these. And then that overnight trade I did on Thursday ended up being $19. So I ended the week $329, and that's not bad on a small account. That's a good percentage. But anyhow, so like what I'm doing tonight, I'm just gonna scroll through these, and it's probably gonna be pretty boring the rest of the video. I mean, feel free to go along on the ride, but that's really all I got for you. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull up my charts and start scrolling through. I've already looked at some of these. My next trade that I'm looking at, and and keep in mind when I do these trades also, so I'll check it out, you know, I'll see what's going on. I saw the downward channel on this FedEx, right, and it was going right into support, and I did a similar trade a week before on AMD and it worked out good. It's just when it popped up like this, I waited and didn't take profit. I thought, you know, it was gonna, you know, reverse and keep going up, and so it didn't, and it started going against me, and so I ended up, you know, I was up over $100 on it, and ended up going against me, and I ended up finally getting out, and I think I made like $25 off the trade. And you know, it's really just horrible, you know, managing the trade, that I should have taken more than that and profit, and I didn't. You know, I should have taken at least 50 if not 75 if I was up over 100, but I let it come back against me. And you know, you learn, it's a learning process, and it's about progress, you know. And so that's one of the things that I did get to learn from that trade. The one I've been looking at, and I was gonna get it on Friday, but I didn't want to be getting into it too quick, and I didn't want to start it, the trade, like on a Friday where I'm holding over the weekend, and then wake up Monday and this, you know, be on fire, the market be on fire because Trump came out with some, you know, we had agreement on China or something like that. And so the trade I'm looking at now, and this is just, you know, from what my thoughts are, is I'm looking at Netflix. Now these contracts are pretty expensive. The one I was looking at getting initially, I was trying to get for around 700, and then and it was, I believe it was like the 340 contract, and it was for a month out that expired 6/21. I was trying to get it for 700 and it already went, so I was looking at getting one that was a little bit above, for I think it was like the 345 or 350. I believe it was a 350 contract, same expiration date, and I was trying to get it for about 900. And and so like I watched the contracts and the pricing and how they moved throughout Friday, and seeing, you know, how they were moving, and so I know that this trade could make me, if it does what I believe it's going to do, it could make me a good lot of money. I try to take trades that, you know, ideally I'd want to get up when it was right around here, and hopefully it might give me a shot come Monday to get in with a better price, you know, closer to this resistance. We'll see what happens, because that way if I get it around this point, and then I'll know real quick if I'm wrong, versus if I get in down here, then I'm holding and it's going against me a lot more, and I have to wait to see it break this resistance before I know I'm wrong, and therefore I take a bigger loss, and the reward becomes less. So on this, you know, I look at the fundamentals, even like on the FedEx and all that. I meant to tell you that I'll you know, look on CSNBC, you know, on this I'll pull up and see what news is going on. I'll look on you know, FinViz, and also I'll look prior to getting into trade, I'll look at the average true range. Like we see here that Netflix has an average true range of $11.12. That's a big movement, and that's what I mean, that if I get in a good price, you know, I may end up just day trading it if the gains are that good, and I'm uncertain, you know, with this type of market, with the trade war going on, and it's looking like it's more of a full-blown trade war. I may just day trade it tomorrow, to be honest. You know, I'll hop in and I'm up, you know, quick $200 or whatever, 300, hop out, and you know, that's, you know, within you know, less than a week and a half of you know, almost, you know, that put me around what, $676, so I'd still be like what, $324 shy of doubling my account, but we'll see how it plays out. The thing that I'm really watching is that I need to know what the SPY does. The SPY is going to really tell me if I should jump into this trade or not. I've heard it said that whatever the SPY is doing, the S&P 500, 3 out of 4 stocks that are in the SPY, 3 out of 4 stocks are doing what the SPY is doing. So if SPY is going up, then 3 out of the 4 stocks is going up. There's only 1 stock that's going to be going down or sideways. That's not following it. So the majority of the time it's doing what it does. And if you look at this chart and you look at Netflix, it's real similar, where you see this little channel right here. Let's see how much of a channel this is. So yeah, I mean, we can see here, and this is a simple support and resistance. This is, now, you know, like I did on that FedEx trade, we can see here, if I draw the lines, and this is all you have to do, and that's what I was trying to tell one of the guys I trade with, one of my trading buddies, is all we have to do is draw, so this is like a trend, you know, a channel down or a trend down, whatever you want to call it. This is like a really good, and so we see here, it's just straight. Now this is like kind of like what FedEx did on me, except it's up here. It looked like it was going to break out of the trend. It hit resistance, and then we see it opened up with a gap down, and that's a tricky thing, is news. News could have caused that right there, that it opened up way down here, and I'm sure that's probably why it did. But we see here it hit support and then it bounced right off, and now it's come up. And so I'm curious to see if it's going to break above this 280, well, 288 area basically, come Monday or not. If it doesn't, seeing how it opens, hopefully it opens up somewhere around in this area, the 286 to 87.50 area, and then I can hopefully have a good chance at getting a decent entry on Netflix. And we can see here that the channel now, obviously this chart's not going to match up the exact same as the S&P. There will be similarities, but it's not going to completely match up. And you can see here why I drew it the way I did. We'll go to the weekly and look at a bigger time frame, and then see how, looking at a bigger time frame, it kind of changes it. Now you can see here that it's kind of topped off here a few times, and then the support that it's found right here. And so I'm thinking, this might be the time that we go sideways and stay in this channel, and that's perfectly fine. If I buy a put on Netflix and one on SPY come Monday, and all I need to do is just drop down a few bucks, and that's, I would like to get a bigger move, see it break this and go down, but reality is, with such a small account, I probably wouldn't even hold it. It got down even close to 340, then I'd be out quick. Just because right now I can't risk it until the account gets bigger. Once the account gets bigger and I can buy an option that's $600 or $900, and it doesn't make up like almost half of my account, if not more than that, then that would be great. But for right now, play it safe. And so as I go through the rest of the night, the rest of this video, I will just basically I have my chart over here on my other monitor. And so I'll go through and just start clicking down my list and looking at them and seeing what's going on. Also, if I want to kind of get a good idea of what's going on with the what SPY might look like in the morning, then I can go to Yahoo Finance and type in for the futures, or I can even do it on here. Let's see, I think the symbolism or symbol has changed, and so I can look here and it'll give me a good idea right now of what this is. Just sloppy. I was trading derivatives of a future for a while there. There we go. So we can see here, so it's still hanging out. It's nothing major. So it's looking like we'll open up about where we closed right now. Not a whole lot of action going on. And the futures right now as they're trading. So I think just go ahead and start going down the chart and looking at different stocks. So I got my weekly on this other screen. I wish I could pull it up to where you could see that too and see what I'm looking at, but this is just what's going to help me figure out, looking for any good setup. One of my downfalls that I think I have is, so I know PG, Procter and Gamble, and like MasterCard, Visa, they're hitting some pretty new highs. And so one of the things I was looking at doing is buying puts once they got up here close to the highs, but it's tough calling the top. And right now, like I said, with my count so small, I got to be really careful on the trades I take and the risk. I know Home Depot's coming out with earnings Wednesday, I believe, or Tuesday. And I got some friends that are trading that or wanting to trade it, and I told them, I was like, I gotta sit this one out, because it's really just a gamble. It's a good company, and the likelihood is that they're gonna have good earnings and the stock's gonna go up, but you never know. I traded earnings on Lyft and Disney past few weeks ago, and I made money on both of them, but I noticed that if the earnings were good and then it would spike or whatever, but the earnings were in after hours. So the problem I ran into is that it would spike in after hours, and if you were trading stock, equity in that, and you had however many shares and you had the ability to trade in after hours, and yeah, you could have made some good money. The issue is trading options, you're not able to trade in after hours. So I had to wait until in the morning, and by the time the morning comes, it's already come back down and given back a lot of that move that it had initially from when the earnings and the conference call happened. And so I only make a little bit of money, and so I had to start asking myself, is it really worth the risk? Because for me, like the Home Depot, I don't know what the options are going for. If they're going for like $50, for like the option that I'm looking at, that I'm thinking it would be a good one, then yeah, I could take a $50 loss. Worst case scenario, I lose $50. Best case scenario, I double or triple my money. And so yeah. So with that said, like we see here, it's hitting new highs. I could put out an alert here and it would trigger whenever it got back up around here, and I could come back and look at it. Right now though, I really I'm not really familiar with the financial sector and how the trade tariffs are going to affect it, and so my best bet is just to stay away from it, as much as tempting it is for me to trade. So we go on. The next one is Amazon. Obviously the options here are just super expensive, so I mean I can look at the chart and try and learn, see like if I see anything that's standing out. But aside from that, let's just move on. Apple, this stock I can't make money on it if my life depends on it. I was looking at doing a 180 call or put, sorry, 180 put last week. But for me, I haven't had good any good trades really on Apple. I think I did one a long time ago. Other than that, I've tended to lose money on trading Apple, so I stayed away from it. That's why you see I had a chart drawn and everything. You can see the trend going down, and it looked like it was going to break out, and it broke back down. And so right here, the 180 day is going to be real key to it. If it's going to be able to hold it. If it doesn't, then I'd expect to really see it start to drop. Also though, I'd check out the fundamentals before I take the trade on it, see what news is going on. We see here on the weekly, and that's the 4 hour, sorry, weekly, so depending on what the time frame you're trading, it can totally change whether you take the trade or not. And so like, you know, somebody in one of my the group of guys that we, you know, chat with and just talk about trading, our group message, you know, they might call out something, and you know, I tell them my opinion, but the deal is well, what time frame are you looking at trading it? Are you doing a covered call? Are you you know, doing a credit spread or iron condor or put call? Like, you know, what's your strategy that you're using on it, and what time frame? Is it a day trade or is it gonna be a swing trade? And so just because something might not look good to me, it could still look good to somebody else if they're looking to day trade it, you know, or they're trading on a longer time frame. So that's why, like, it's hard to, like, when you see like people and they're going through their charts and calling this or that out, you need to know like what time frame are they looking at to do the trade. And my experience is it's never been good to shadow trade anybody. The best thing to do is to learn how to do technical analysis, how to learn how that stock moves and how the market moves, and then basically learn how to trade it on your own. That way, whenever you take a loss, you have nobody to blame but yourself, you know. Alphabet, I'm not gonna have enough money to trade that. Facebook, this one, surprised this one's bouncing back. So like, we can see that it had this big drop. Think if you would have bought a put on this bad boy when it did this earnings, you would have made a killing. But think if you would have bought a call, and that's the whole deal. You just never know. It's just like going to the casino. Unless you have some type of knowledge or experience or strategy, or you know, you have a humongous account that you can buy that call or put and it's not going to affect you, then more power to you. I hope to get there, working on it. So this is where it's tough because I'm looking at right here. And it's showing right around this price to be like a resistance area. Not very well defined on this map. And then it's hit right here. Does this line up? You notice how you notice how that lines up right here? It hits here. See here, and it consolidates. It comes down and then is able to power through it. And then it hits here. Now, I'm not one of those people that's gonna sit here and tell you, you know, this is how you, and I mean, hindsight's always 20/20. So, you know, if I'm to really give anybody credit, then it's to see them trade live and set up the trade and take it whenever it comes down to this point. You know, whether they take a win or a loss, the fact that they had a trade plan, they had you know, an idea of how much they were going to risk and what their trade was going to do, you know, the plan behind it, and where they're going to get in and where they're going to get out, then yeah. But you can see here, and it's tough, man. Even if you bought in at this low, you gotta be willing to take some pain. And position sizing is real important, because even if you bought in right here at support, and then it breaks through, it drops down. We got the support, say 180, and the low, that candle was 178.10. You know, you would have been down quite a bit. And I'm wondering, you know, I'm sure there were a few people that got stomped out of this, probably new traders, people that went in too big, their account couldn't handle it. And even if it was one contract, if their account's small enough, they can't take that kind of heat, and it pushes them out. You know, that's what happened with me on FedEx, is I was, you know, holding two, and I was on the verge, literally on the verge of going ahead and cutting my losses. And then it started turning around, and it played out how I thought it would. And I didn't think it was going to come back. I thought after it spiked, it would, have a minor pullback and then trend up, but it didn't. That's on the FedEx trade I was showing earlier. So with that, here, I'm just watching, looking at the EMAs. This one's kind of pointing down along with the VWAP. We got the 9 that's kind of flattening out. Sometimes, I like to, if I like the chart, then I'll break it down on a smaller time frame and start looking and saying, okay, so what's it doing? A 4-hour is still over, up off of this 180 day. I would expect, and it's so tricky with this trade war. I mean, if I had to give you that's basically my best prediction guess from this information right here. It'd be don't trade it right now. It does look like it has some type of support right here at this area, but we got the 9 on this one pointing down, and we got the 20-day EMA down a little bit, and then we got the VWAPs going sideways. So it's hard to say. I would think it would probably come back down and closer to the 180 day, but I don't know. I'm not willing to place a bet on it, and so that should tell you right there, don't take the trade. And that's one of the things I've been having to learn is, if you're not sure, even like the Netflix trade I want to do so bad, I still have my reservations though for hesitation of taking it, that if I can find a better trade, a better chart with higher probability that I'm more confident in, then I should go ahead and take that trade rather than Netflix. Because wouldn't you rather take the guaranteed money over the not so sure money? And so that's one of the things I've had to learn as a trader, is that I tend to I'll check something out and choose to see what I want to see, and not really look at what the chart's telling me and take a gamble. And then when I lose money, I get upset, but it's like, well, what did you expect? You didn't do your homework on it. You didn't look at the charts. You didn't do the fundamentals. You didn't look to see what the SPY was doing. And so with the strategy you're doing, if you don't do those things, then you're highly likely to take a loss than you are to take a win. So we got Berkshire Hathaway. This one's really down low. Go back to the daily. So this is really choppy daily, but this is something I would stay away from, just because it's too hard, too unpredictable. You see a lot of gap ups, gap downs, and so trading an option on it is it's something I wouldn't want to touch. Baba, just because you have there's a good company like Baba, I'm sure a lot of people thought that this was going to go up on earnings, and you can see it gap down, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that lost money on this. And that's why I just decided to stick away from earnings for now. Is I've noticed that on earnings, if it goes down, then most time it's going to stay down lately on earnings, and then if it spikes up on earnings, then usually it gets close back to where it was prior to earnings the next morning. I haven't seen a whole lot of follow through, but if we look here, we kind of see that it's lining up with some type of support and resistance right here, but to me it's just not worth the risk. So move on. J&J, Johnson & Johnson. And so you see the 180-day EMA, and as it's riding it, then this would be like the perfect. Oh man, come on. I think it's messing up. I have to pull up my other chart and see if it'll let me switch. It's switching, but that's stuck on there. Alright, it's gone. I got too much stuff running. This is one of the ones I was wanting to trade, and it was up here when it was hitting this high. I was wanting to buy a put, and I thought to myself, you know what? It's too risky. Too risky. Just stay away from it. You know, and it just had dividends payout and visas, you know, just like MasterCard. Same reason. I don't know what's going on in the financial sector and how it's going to react to this. This trade war crap. And then we got Exxon Mobil. We can see it's still down just like Chevron. The chart on this is a lot different than Chevron's, but that's why I took Chevron and didn't trade this. But seeing, you know, it's still down even though oil is up. Walmart, this one, I put in actually an alert reminder. I don't know if it, where's it at? I just saw it pull up. Yeah. I don't know what's going on though. But basically I want to see it gets close to this $100 mark. I want to look and keep a close eye on it, and if it breaks below it, then I would look to buy a put. Just because $100 is a key psychological marker on stocks, and so if it breaks below 100, then I expect, you know, some people's stop losses to get hit and get triggered, and see it pull back down close to its 180 day. I'm not sure. Oh, and they just had earnings, so that would really open up the window for a possible trade for me, just because that's what I've seen is $100 mark. You see here it's you know, broke barely below it on these dailies, and then has fought its way back up. Hasn't been able to really hold below it, you know, closes the day above it, but yeah. And if you really look hard, you kind of see it starting to trend down. And so we'll see what happens. I got my alert set. Sometimes, you know, you just gotta wait. All you can do is wait. Bank of America, you know, looks like there might be like, we see that this is active as support to a certain extent, or resistance. Really resistance, you know. Right through here, should draw this line further out, and then it's had its support areas right here where it's just hit it. It hasn't been able to get below it. It's still below the 180 day. If it doesn't break above that, let's see what the 4 hour looks like. So it's way off down here. But it's below the EMAs, and they're still pointing down. So I don't know, right now it looks like it's still got a good possibility of continuing to go down, you know, but I think I can find something better chart to trade than that. And that's really what it comes excuse me, what it comes down to. Now this PNG, the same thing that like I was looking at on I think it was like the Visa, somehow it's hit new highs, and so when it was getting close up to here, I was wanting to buy put, and luckily, you know, I just stayed away from it because obviously I would be down right now. You know, you see it hit a high of 108.68, and then it's come back down, and it looks like it may continue to go up. It's hard to say. I don't know a whole lot what's going on in the financial sector. If I was to trade it, I would definitely have to do look at some fundamentals and read up on it and do my homework. You know, I tend to forget that even though this is my play money that I'm using for my account, it's still money that I had to work for. It wasn't just free money, and so I need to be smart about my my trades, my investments, whatever you want to call it, and not be careless and reckless. And for me being new, you know, the excitement, you know, that excitement was, you know, would have me jumping in all sorts of crazy stuff that I had no business, you know, trading or, buying. And even to this day, like I was talking to one of my friends, and I told him like, yeah, I'm up for the week, but I have a tendency to make one dumb trade and it'll wipe out all those gains from last week. And so I really gotta be cautious of myself. I think for me, learn about trading is that it's, you learn about trends and patterns and all that stuff, and it's not tough. You stick around and watch the stocks and how they move and just study charts, then it's not hard to learn and see what happens. The real battle is with yourself and having enough discipline to wait, not to be reckless. And if you can't find anything that meets your criteria, and building a criteria of what a stock must have in order for you to trade it is a big part. And I didn't have a criteria for a long time, and so for me it's real important just to stick to how I've been trading and follow my game plan, do the homework, look at the fundamentals, do a lot of reading, look at the SPY, what's going on with the SPY, what's going on with the trade war, politics, what's going on, read an article today about the Chinese yen and its value versus the dollar, and it's gotten a lot weaker, and so now it's kind of got people on alert to see what's going to happen, and if it keeps getting much weaker, that it could really affect the world economy. And so that's something I'm keeping an eye on, keeping that in account, and seeing. This one's interesting. Now we see it just had earnings, and so it's hitting this rooftop. I don't know if it's gonna have enough momentum to keep pushing up though. Depending on how much the options are, the puts, it may be a good risk to reward to where it's worth taking that risk. Go ahead and pull it up on my phone. See what the and I've been trading a month out expiration. So let's see. CSCO, Cisco. Because I had that big jump out. I just don't know how long it's gonna be able to hold it, or if it will be able to hold it. June 21st put. I'm sure they're expensive. They might not be that expensive though. Oh, load up. Probably get like the 55.50. Right around here. Ooh. That might be one of interest. The 55.50. It's not showing up the price though, man. Come on. I have to wrap this up pretty soon so I can get some sleep. Make sure I'm up in time. Well, the one that is showing up is the 55, and they're wanting $82 for it. So I'm guessing probably close to 100 for the 55.50, and it may be worth the risk. I might definitely put this one on watch. I don't know if it's gonna have enough momentum to carry on going up, and so this may be the perfect time to get the entry. Ideally probably would have, maybe see how it opens up Monday, and if it gets much closer up to here, to like the 57 area, and look to get in, and that way I'll know real quick if I'm wrong, and I'll get a better price on the option. And I'm just speaking out loud, and hopefully this kind of give you insight to what I'm looking at and trading. If I get the option for under $100, we look. And another thing I'll do is I'll look at previous earnings and see how it's responded. This one, You know, it opened, it gapped up and opened. And it'll hold it, but then it slowly continued to push up. So we see a lot of these gapped up. When it will hold, it came down some, but continued to push on. To the weekly. See, look at that weekly. That big long, that was a solid move. I don't think it's gonna have enough to sustain it though. It's gonna give some back. And I'm not looking to hold till expiration. I'm just looking to get in and make some, you know, decent little profit with relatively low risk. And those are, you know, any trader, that's ideal trade. You know, if I'm risking, you know, 100 to make 300, you know, and really, I know real quick it's going against me, and so I'll probably lose max maybe $50 to make probably ideally 200, somewhere around that ballpark, which isn't a bad trade. I don't think it'll hold it. So yeah, I'll probably watch this one tomorrow. And you know, if I'm wrong, it's, you know, I'm out $50 and it's, you know, $50, that sucks, but I mean, it's already had the earnings, and now is it going to be able to continue this momentum and push ups? Let's go. You know, I'll have to look up the fundamentals. I don't know if I want to sit here and bore y'all with that right now. See what news is on it. Excuse me. Latest news, Cisco soars on earnings. Fastly shares rocket as much as 60% in the IPO debut. What did I do that? Look at this. Also, I want to see if the average true range is also. I think it's going to be a video. Yeah, I'm looking for a news article. So like this video will probably be of help. I think I've already watched it. Trade War and 6 stocks. So I think it's the 6 stocks that you wanna, that I guess, or you would be okay to be in, that you wouldn't have to worry about being affected by the trade war. So yeah, I'll look at this later. The fundamentals on this. So yeah, definitely. And see, also, if you look on the weekly, this candle tells you it was able to push up, but it barely was able to hold it. And you see, what do they call it, like a shooting star. I think it's bigger. Had good volume. Yeah, that may be a good one of interest. And you know, and I'll go ahead and mark this down and put it, you know, in my special watch list. I have a separate one that I'll put these in on. So CSCO. So I gotta put that one in on it. And so I'll go through all these once I get done breaking all these charts down, and then I'll look for the ones out, you know, that I put in my watch list, my personal watch list that I took away from this one, the scan, and put in the watch list of the charts and stuff that I liked, and I'll look for the best setups that I'm looking, you know, to trade that's worth the risk and to reward. And so moving on, we got Disney. See, this one I want to trade it. I had the 140, and when I had the earnings, you know, you see it. When we go to the daily and get a better picture, it held up it, but then, you know, by the time, you know, market opened and stuff, it wasn't up much above 140, and I was able to make a little bit, but not. It just wasn't there. So this one, you can see where it's got the resistance right here, and now it's turned into support. And so we'll see what happens. It'll probably come back down here, and I don't know if it'll hold it though. I'm thinking it probably will, just because it's Disney and they're in competition with Netflix. We'll see. We got Verizon. You know, this is one I've been looking at. You know, and I'll market and look for certain things, but right here, like, I really don't see a whole lot. You know, it's just not enough for me to really be hard on the ball, because it may stick in this range, you know, but I mean, I can watch it and see what it does. And, you know, sometimes I'll do that. I'll you know, I have a notebook. I'll write down like what to look at the next morning as a reminder, and I may just watch it and be like, okay, if I would have bought a put here, would I have been right? And just keep an eye on it, and then I'll know, okay, there's something I could have learned from that if I would have taken that trade, or, you know, I was wrong and, you know, made a good call. And, you know, always just trying to look for opportunity to learn and improve, even if you're just. So this one's real interesting right here. AT&T, we see here it's got the resistance, and then it's able to break above it. But the thing here that's really key is it broke above the resistance, but also the 180-day EMA. And so that's a big one. And so we have this gap, and so it looks like it's going to fill this gap. This one would probably be ideal to wait for a pullback and then go long for a call. You know, I have to look at the news on it and see why. We see a gap down from earnings. We definitely have to look at the fundamentals on that one. But I already have an idea of what I want to trade tomorrow. I want to look at that Cisco, CSCO, and then Netflix, SPY. And right now, those are really the small. I got some other ones that I'm watching. I'm just looking for the best charts to trade. And then P-Fitzer, it's hitting the 180-day. This may be a good one to go short on. Right here. See if I can. I don't know. I wonder what the fundamentals say. If there's any hope fundamentals on it. Getting late. This is gonna be a long video too. PFE. Well, in the meantime, we see if the options are priced on it. That, I mean, sometimes I'll do that just to save me time. Like, now what the options are priced, I might even need to go look at fundamentals if they're so expensive that it's not even worth. Like this, the options are fairly cheap on this. 41, right, but 65 bucks. What we got? Where's the news on it, man? Here we go. I haven't seen anything really significant. Latest stories, stocks making the biggest moves midday, Cisco Systems, Walmart, Farfetch, and more. Citigroup was one I was watching, but like I said, the financials, I don't know about that, man. So tricky. So PFETs are okay. Stock rose more than 2% after Credit Suisse named it as a top pick, citing an increase in confidence with management in the pharmaceutical company's new products over the next few months. That's why it's up. Day was this article on? The 16th. 16th was what? Thursday? Yeah, Thursday. Aside from that, oh, there's another article on the 16th. There's a few on this. There's two more on the 16th, but I think they're probably all going to say something similar, just from different news outlets. Different, you know, I used to hate doing this, looking at the fundamentals and doing all the charting and stuff, and now I always just want to wake up and just look at something, click on it, buy it, and hope to make money and this and that. And you know, I think when you start taking it from a different aspect, then you can kind of find enjoyment going through this and learning and seeing like what's going on, why is it up, what are people saying about it. Because I'll tell you what, the people that are in this, I'm sure that, you know, especially the big people, the hedge funds and the banks and all that, even the big retail traders with lots of money, they've done all this work. They've read through, they've figured out what's going on, known just about everything they can know about it before trading. So like on this one, I'll look at what's the average true range? What kind of moves am I thinking? Looking at it make 75 cents. So this one would probably take a few days to be worth a while. So you know, with theta I don't think would be so much a factor buying a month out. You know, I think within the week I'd be able to sell, and it'd be worth, unless it goes against me. And see, you can see on here the pattern that they're showing. So yeah, it's broke above, but if it does like it's done in the past, thing is the sizing right, which on this I'd only buy one contract. Yeah, I mean contracts probably can cost me like 65 bucks. I could buy multiple, but you know, I'm trying to get the best price possible, and so, you know, would consider doing 2 tops, but that would change the whole trade plan. So more likely to just stick with one, and you know, risk X amount. I had, you know, write down a trade plan for this one before getting into it. So I'll write it down as a keep on watch on my notepad, and put it in my watch list under Cisco PFE. But you know, I'm looking for the best setup, so you know, I'll go through this after I finish here and look for the best ones. But I think I'm about to go ahead and just wrap it up. This Chevron, this one would probably be, I was looking at this, see here, come back down. Yeah, this is hard to say. It's not worth. I'm sure I could find something better than this. I'm definitely sure I could find something better than that to trade. That was just an in and out deal. Let's not get married to it. United Health. Now this one's interesting. We can see it's sticking in this range. Is it going to break above it or not? So like this is one that, you know, let me see, do I have it on my, I don't think I do. What's the options look like on that one? UNH. They're going to be pretty expensive considering the price of the stock. Yeah, they're pretty expensive. The 240 puts $603. Considering the chart, you know, I'd have to do more work on it. I'm gonna go ahead though and wrap it down. I'm gonna keep going, but just so that I don't bore y'all. Yeah, Home Depot's having earnings. Gonna stick away from that. Coca-Cola. That chart looked interesting. It's made quite good gains. Wells Fargo, Bank Stock. We got Boeing. I had a lot of news recently, like a month or so ago, because of the airplane crash and orders and all that. We got Intel. I know that I read an article on that the other day. Pepsi, Citigroup, Netflix, BP, British Petroleum, Adobe, Nike, PayPal, IBM. Yeah, I think that's gonna wrap it up. So I may look into this one a little bit more, but I really do need to get some rest if I'm gonna be up for market open tomorrow. So I'm getting tired too. It's been a long day. My only day off work. Oh, all right. Well, I hope that this has recorded good and has been of help to y'all. And I'll try to become more consistent. At least put out one good video a week. I'm not gonna do any editing to this. It's late. I'm being lazy. It's gonna take forever to upload onto YouTube. So have a good night, and I will try to make a commitment to y'all. Now that I kind of moved the stuff, my computer and all my equipment to a better location in the house, I'll have a ability to work and not have to worry about disturbing, you know, my son, my girlfriend, anything like that. So we should be good. And have a good night, and I guess try to put another video out this week, updating you with the trades, which one I took, which ones I didn't take, and how they played out. So happy trading. Focus on risk and probability, and not so much on that pie in the sky. And if this just went up 100 points, then that would be it. I would have it made, and just, you know what I mean, focus on what you could lose, not what you could make. And with that said, have a great night, happy trading, and I will see y'all tomorrow morning. I'll try to maybe do a video tomorrow morning and give you an update on how my trades are going, or which ones I got into, or I might not have gotten into any. If you know, SPY opens up and it's skyrocketing tomorrow, I may just stay out of the market, and because I'm not sure what it's gonna do. And that's part, I guess, for me of maturing and growing as a trader, is being patient and waiting. So with that said, have a great night.